A weather forecast is simply a scientific estimate of future weather condition. In forecasting the weather, a meteorologist must at least know something about the existing weather condition over a large area before he can make a reliable forecast. The accuracy of his forecast depends largely upon his knowledge of the prevailing weather conditions over a very wide area. The forecast decision is based on the various forecasting tools, and this basic tool of a weather forecaster is called as the weather map. Climatology and weather forecasting is important since it helps determine future climate expectations through the use of latitude. One can determine the likelihood of snow and hail reaching the surface, and you can also be able to identify the thermal energy from the sun that is accessible to a region. On the other hand, an advisory is issued when a hardest weather or hydrological event is occurring, imminent or likely. Advisories are for less serious conditions than warnings. The tropical cyclones are most common in the Philippines between June and November. The Philippines, as an archipelago in the western North Pacific, is subjected to tropical cyclones of diverse severity and frequency, with an average of 20 tropical storms per year. The tropical cyclone warning system was established by the Philippine Weather Bureau, the National Meteorological and Hydrological Service, known as the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services, or PAGASA. Storm warning signals are then activated to alert the public of impending weather disruptions, and when a storm warning is issued, conditions are not always felt in the affected area. It's also vital to note that tropical cyclones are always moving, and when the Pag-asa issues the warning, they are usually heading through the Philippines. As a result, the public storm warning signal number for a threatened or affected area may be upgraded or decreased in stages. It should also be noted that the approximate lead time indicated for each signal number to expect the range of wind speeds is only applicable when the signal number is activated for the first time. However, in the event of a sudden improvement in the weather conditions due to a significant weakening or acceleration of the tropical cyclone's pace of passage away from the country, the warning may be downgraded by one signal level. The TCWS has 10 warning levels in the 1950s, the Public Storm Warning Signal number 1 to Public Storm Warning Signal number 10. The warning system was created primarily for sailors at the sea. In ports, the visual storm warning signs are the shapes of cones and cylinders, and then the red and white lightings are used as night signals. The number of warning levels was lowered from 10 to 3. It is lowered in the 1970s based on the 3 WMO tropical cyclone categories. The Public Storm Warning Signal number 1 or PSWS number 1 is the initial warning to be raised once a tropical cyclone is to threaten a certain area. The PSWS number 1 is valid once the storm reaches tropical depression category. This warning notes that the winds may only be very light or no damage at all may be sustained by the exposed communities, unless this warning signal is upgraded during the entire existence of the tropical cyclone. The public storm warning signal number 1 has a maximum winds of 63 kilometers per hour for tropical depression. Public Storm Warning Signal 2. The PSWS number 2 is valid once the storm reaches tropical storm and or severe tropical storm category. This warning notes that the winds may bring light to moderate damage to the exposed communities. The Public Storm Warning Signal number 2 has a maximum winds of 64 to 117 kilometers per hour for tropical storm. Public Storm Warning Signal 3. The PSWS number 3 is valid once the storm reaches typhoon category. Warning roughly covers Category 1 and Category 2 typhoons on the Saffir-Simpson scale. This warning notes that the winds may bring moderate to heavy damage may be experienced, particularly in the agricultural and industrial sectors. The PSWS number 3 has a maximum winds of greater than 118 km per hour for typhoon and then Public storm number 4. Public storm warning signal number 4 is valid once the storm reaches typhoon category. Warning roughly covers category 3 and 4 typhoons on the Saffir-Simpson scale. This warning notes that the winds may bring heavy damage to affected communities. The winds of a public storm warning signal number 4 will be greater than 185 kilometers per hour and is expected in at least 12 hours. Last but not least, the public storm warning signal number 5. As I was saying earlier, it is announced by the Pag-asa on May 1, 2015. A revised public storm warning system was updated in the classification of tropical cyclones. The public storm warning signal number 5 or PSWS number 5 has the highest warning. PSWS number 5 is valid once the storm reaches super typhoon category. Warning roughly covers category 5 typhoons on the Saffir-Simpson scale. This warning notes that the winds may bring widespread and devastating damage to the affected communities.